Welcome back, True Seeker. It's Monday, November 27th, 2017. In the headlines, a story from the Navy about one of its destroyers being damaged yet again this year after an earlier June 17th incident. Here's the reporting. Make this a little bit bigger. Says that this boat, the USS Fitzgerald, on June 17th was in a deadly collision, killing 7 sailors when it hit another boat at sea. And then today, a transport vessel called a Transhealth caused more damage to this same ship. And as soon as I saw this news, I knew it was bullshit, because everything in the mainstream media is bullshit. And I just knew right away, from the June 17th incident to this incident that happened Sunday, November 26th, the second time it got damaged, I just knew that the distance in days would connect with the name of the ship, because this is the way it's always is in media reporting. Everything is planned, theatrics, and I'm going to get to why. But look at this. From the June 17th incident damaging the ship that supposedly killed 7 sailors, and I hope to God that's not true. If it is true, it means that that ship was purposefully damaged on that day, which caused the casualties. But understand, they report false deaths all the time. It's entirely possible that happened. I hope that is the case. But from that incident to November 26th, 162 days. And Fitzgerald, the name of the ship, equals 162. So the Fitzgerald gets hurt 162 days apart. And the day of the second incident was a date with numerology of 54. Notice Fitzgerald also has gematria 54 in both reduction ciphers. And the thing that caused the damage, also gematria 54. So how perfect. Again, this happened on a date with 54 numerology. And they said it had to return to its home base. Well, its home base is the perfect place for a Navy destroyer. And understand, we're living out the New World Order agenda. The entire world is a chessboard for the New World Order tyrants that contrive news propaganda every day. Notice, in the ordinal and reverse ordinal ciphers, the base for this ship syncs perfectly with Navy destroyer. 160 and 191. 191 is also the 43rd prime. You see that? And Yokosuka, Japan, also 43. So, why is this kind of stuff done? Why are they purposefully damaging U.S. ships to make news stories? Well, if you're paying attention to the news, there's been a lot of headlines about how the Navy's underfunded, it needs a greater budget, and we need a new fleet of ships. So this damage just factors into that narrative that the media is already pushing, that we need more money for the Navy and we need newer ships. Here's a ship now more damaged, greater argument for what they're already pushing. But understand, the majority of our tax money that's dedicated to the military gets siphoned away and stolen by the long-nosed tyrants. And the long-nosed tyrants go by the Talmud. Let me do a little reading from the Talmud. So this is the book. It is Zohar Vashla 177b. Here's how it goes. That the Jewish nation is the only nation selected by God, while all the remaining ones are contemptible and hateful. That all property of other nations belongs to the Jewish nation, which consequently is entitled to seize upon it without any scruples. An Orthodox Jew is not bound to observe principles of morality towards people of other tribes. He may act contrary to morality, if profitable to himself or to Jews in general. A Jew may rob a goy. A goy is somebody who's not a Jew. Goyim, goy. He may cheat him over a bill, which should not be perceived by him. Otherwise, the name of God would become dishonored. In other words, these people can do whatever they want to us. They can lie to us. They can steal from us. They can do anything that profits them. They don't have to respect anything about us. Realize this destroyer, this is a multi-million-dollar thing paid for by the U.S. taxpayers. And they're purposefully damaging it for their contrived narrative, for their contrived agenda, as a way of thieving even more money from people. That boat cost hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, think about what you could do with hundreds of millions of dollars. You could build all sorts of schools. You could create infrastructure in poor communities so people have a place to work. You could pay for thousands of people to get an education. But this is what's going on in the world. This is why we're the richest nation in the world and we have the world's biggest homeless population. This is why we're the richest nation in the world, but we have the highest percentage of people in poverty. Because all of our money's stolen from us. We're a nation that is working for another group of people's existence. In the Talmud, you can read through some of these verses in the Talmud, it says that the purpose of the goyim is to work and slave so that the Jew doesn't have to. And you can go on YouTube and you can search, for people in Israel talking about goyim and how the goyim in America love the Jew. That's why they work so hard for him so they don't have to. How many people in America really realize this, though? And this isn't some joke. This is what's in their book. All this stuff's in their book. Get on here and read Talmud quotes. See what's going on in the world. Here's Mr. Donald Trump. Where was he on Jerusalem Day? He was in Israel. They jokingly call him the first Jewish president because all of his children have married into Jewish families, except for the little one, Barron. It's not hard to see what's going on in the world. Not at all. You get every president. What's the first thing every president does when they get selected? They go and visit AIPAC, the Israel lobby. You see? You learn the gematria code, you start to see what this nation's really always been about. You know what the coordinates for Washington, D.C. are? It's on the 38th parallel, Jew. It's on the 77th meridian, Judaism. And Jews will tell you, the only reason the United States of America exists is because Jews paid for it to exist. They paid for the wars, they paid for the militaries, they've controlled the politicians from the beginning. Jews know that the United States of America is a Jewish nation. Look at this. Jewish, 74. Wonder who created the English language? 74. What we're doing here is called gematria, 74. What's this nation's birthday? Is it 7-4? Holiday, 7-4. Independence Day, 70. Independence. I'm missing some letters. What's going on? Independence Day. There we go. 74. And you know what's really interesting? In light of how many times the Talmud says it's okay to lie to goyim, 4th of July, 74. Something's going to be a coincidence, but remember what they did to us 2 years ago on the 4th of July? Here, I'll remind you if you don't remember. I'll show you right here. I got the proof. Juno. This should bring it up. Google, which is owned by these tyrants, collecting everyone's data and information. Here's what they did to us on the 4th of July. Do you remember when the Juno probe landed on Jupiter? Do you remember this? Here was Google Doodle. This is supposed to be the Juno probe. You see how they did this? They made it so it spelled the word goy. You see that? On the 4th of July. And why does goy go so well with the 4th of July? Why does it go so well? Because goy equals 47. You see? You see? And it's interesting that word has gematria of 20 and 34 because in their book it says it's okay for them to kill goyim. Death 20, murder 34. I don't think these things are a coincidence. You know? Not at all. I think their entire agenda is within the language. In Hebrew, Jewish is 47. You know? The reflection, Elohim's 47. 47 degrees on the Freemason compass. We'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Until next time.